Welcome back to the Tech 10 classroom. Today in our CAD lesson we're going to be 3D modelling this acrylic light display, and as you can see here it's made up of three components of a base, switch plate and a clear acrylic display. If I rotate my cube around you can see here that it's got a slot on the bottom with LED holes. It's got a circular saw slot on the side of the timber base, and it's also got this cavity in here that we need to do as well in our timber base. Now this will all be CNC machined on the little Roland CNC machine. Now moving forward, this video will compose of four components today. Step 1 will be setting up the CAD environment. Step 2 will be designing the base, the timber base. Step 3 will be doing the clear light display, and Step 4 will be doing the switch plate. So let's get started. I'm going to create a new design here, and immediately I'm going to save that. And I'm going to call this Bart Simpson. You'll put your name on it. A acrylic light display, ALD. So your name and ALD. Click save. Make sure it's going into your correct folder in your Fusion. So to get started here today, we need to do three component files. So we click the drop down at assembly, we go new component. Immediately deselect the parent file here. And this is a good habit to get into. So this one here, we're going to type in base, B-A-S-E. For the parent, go to the top of the tree and click it. You'll see now that the file name is the parent file. Click OK. You can validate that on the left-hand side. We can see bases there. Let's go to the next one. New component. Once again, deselect the parent file. Double click up here, type in switch plate. Pick the parent file at the top of the tree and validate that it's your name. Let's do one more time. Last time, assembly, drop down new component, deselect the parent file, and this one here we'll just type in clear acrylic. Once again, pick the top of the tree as your parent file, validate it, click OK. So now, to ensure that, we've got at the parent is name of the file here is your name. Okay, so your name, ALD. Then you've got three components, so these are children of the parent file, base, switch, clear acrylic. We're going to start on the base, so we need to activate the base. So up here, highlight it and click it. We make sure that that dot has to be activated, and in the bottom right hand corner we can see that base 1 has been selected. Create a sketch. We're going to pick the side plane here that lives on the blue and green axes. Create rectangle. We want a center rectangle. Click to the origin, drag out, type in your dimensions. It's going to be 30. Use the tab key to go to the next one. Tab key again, 30 by 70, and click enter. Make sure those dimensions are on there. We're going to finish sketch, and we're going to extrude that. We're going to pick a symmetrical extrusion, and it's going to be 95 millimeters long. Now we click one long edge and validate that it says 190. Because it was symmetrical extrusion, it went 95 one way, 95 the other way. 95 plus 95 is 190. We can see that is correct. Let's put an appearance on that now. It's going to be pine, and it's going to be glossy pine. If you don't have it, you may have to download it. Once you have it, you just simply click and hold and drag it on. Click close. We're going to pick that right-hand edge now and create a sketch. R for rectangle, and I just simply want you to draw a rectangle. Snap it at the top here, drag down and across. It's going to be 12 millimeters long, tab key 3 millimeters wide, and enter. All right. If you didn't do that, remember the D key, you can put the dimensions on manually. So now we press the D key here. I'm going to pick that top edge there and that dot there of the rectangle, and that's going to be 20 millimeters in. So you can see here now that I have a rectangle on the side. It's been snapped to the top edge. It's 12 millimeters deep, 3 millimeters wide, and 20 millimeters in from that corner. Finish sketch and extrude. We'll go to a home view so you can see it. Pick that rectangle, drag it all the way through. In distance where it says extent type, click down here and go all. Ensure it's a cut operation. Click OK. Click Save. Okay, the next bit is important. We need to do, under here, we need to do this slot on the bottom and the holes for the LEDs. So let's get on cracking onto that. Click the top view here on the cube. Notice the way I've orientated it. I'm going around once, twice. Now it's important that this slot we're doing lives exactly underneath this other slot here, this saw blade slot. Click the base there, click Create a Sketch. We're going to go Create, Slot, Center to Center Slot. Simply click roughly about here. Drag out, make sure you're dragging horizontally, not diagonally. Make sure that when you're drawing, it will say 180 degrees. Click again, so that's 2 clicks, drag up. 3 clicks to get the center to center slot. D key for dimension. Hover over here, pick up that orange line which lives between the two dots here. Click it and drag up. This should be 145, enter. Now the semicircle radius here is going to be 7.5. And from this edge here, so D for dimension, from this corner to that corner we drag up. And that's going to be 22.5. Now, from this corner here to this corner here, if we take a look on our drawing, it's going to be 21.5. So D for dimension, pick that corner, 21.5, enter. So let's just check that. Let's just go over it. You've got a center to center slot, which is 145 millimeters long. It starts 22.5 millimeters in from that top corner, and it lives 21.5 millimeters down from that top corner. The semicircle radius is 7.5 millimeters. Righto, let's finish our sketch and extrude that -10. Enter. So here's my slot, and if I rotate around for you, you can see that it's a -10 down. Righto. So we now need to pick that void down in there. So watch again, click here, it turns blue, create a sketch. C for circle. Hover around here, you'll see a circle appear, which means we're right in the center of that other circle. You can see here, we want to be 5 millimeters and enter. I'm going to drag mine out so you can see it. We're going to extrude that now. So E for extrude, pick that circle and go -8. So we now have our hole for our LED, which lives exactly over the center of the slot. Now what we need to do a pattern to make 13 holes across there. Instead of drawing them, we can just do a pattern. So create, pattern, rectangular pattern. Change object type to features. When it says objects, we need to select it. Come down to your timeline and pick that extrusion there. Now axes, we need to activate it, and we pick that long edge here. Okay, right there. Now we start to drag out with the drag handle. So we start to drag that out. It's going to be 145 long. So in here, 145. Quantity is going to be 13. And on axis 2, I'm going to change that to 1. So we've got axis 1 is 13. Distance is 145. One direction, axis 2, 1. Click OK. And we now have all our LED holes over there done and dusted. Click Save. Righto, so what we need to do now, we need to do this void for our switch plate in here. All right, so let's get cracking into that. Back to our home view. What I'd like you to do is pick the top face there, create a sketch. We're going to create a rectangle on here now. Half a rectangle, just draw a rectangle here. Now we need to dimension that rectangle. It's going to be 80 millimeters long. It's going to be 35 millimeters wide. So let's do that now. D for dimension. 80 millimeters long, 35 millimeters wide. Just check that again. And it's got to be 5.75 up from that edge. D for dimension, we can pick that line and drag out. So 5.75, enter. I can bring that up so you can see it. I'll bring this out so you can see it as well. Just to check that again. So 5.75, 35, 80 mil. We need to be 55 millimeters in. So D for dimension, from that corner to that corner, down, 55, enter. So let's just take a look at that. Make sure you've got the exact dimensions I've got. You've got an 80 millimeter rectangle, 35 millimeters wide. It lives 55 millimeters in and 5.75 millimeters up. We need to extrude that now. So finish sketch, E for extrude, click that, go -3. What we need to do now is put some fillets on these corners. So we click fillet, shortcut key is F. Okay, as you can see there. We're going to pick these little vertical edges. 1. Now, if you hover here, they will appear. See that? 2. Now, if at any time you pick a wrong edge, cancel it here and start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be 3 mil. So type in 3 here. Okay. Notice I've got 4 edges selected, 3 millimeters. Click OK. We've got that nice edge in here. Righto. So let's now put this other slot in here. So it's going to be a center to center slot. So we need to click that void now. Click create a sketch. Create slot, center to center slot. Just simply roughly draw it here. Make sure everything's in line. Okay, we can now start to put some dimensions on that. It's 30 millimeters from the center to center slot and 25 millimeters in. So D for dimension. So 30 millimeters. I can move that up a little bit. The radius of that is 12.5. So D for dimension. So this one here. This one here is 12.5. Okay, I can escape and pull that down a little bit. Okay, it's going to be 25 millimeters in. D for dimension. Sometimes you have to press the escape key to get out of it. 25 millimeters in. Let's just check that. So 25 millimeters in, center to center is 30 mil. Now we need to be 17.5 millimeters up. So D for dimension. We're going to pick that line, 17.5, and enter. All right, we've got a black sketch now. I've pressed escape. Notice I'm in the dimension mode. If I press the escape key, we get out of it. All right, we have a black sketch here, so we're fully defined. Center to center is 30. It's 25 millimeters in from that edge. It's 17.5 millimeters up from that edge. And the radius of that semicircle there is 12.5. Right, finish sketch. Back to our home view. E for extrude. And this is going to be -20. All right, click save. Now, before we can move on, we need to put a penetration hole right through here. So let me show you on the main model. As I rotate around, you can see there's a hole here that goes right through, and it goes into the switch plate area here. So if I turn the switch plate off, you can see this hole here that goes all the way through the timber. We need that so we can bring our wires through. So let's do that one now on your model. So you're going to rotate around to the back view here. Click that face, create a sketch, C for circle. Roughly draw a circle in the center at about 6 millimeters. Now from here, I want this circle. So from that edge to the center of the circle is going to be 10. Now at the moment, you'll notice that I press the escape key to get out of dimensioning. that I can move this around. Okay, so we're going to lock that in by using constraint. And the constraint we're going to use is this one up here. It's called horizontal vertical. So I click that, I pick the center of the circle, and I pick the origin there. And you'll notice that they're locked down now. It's turned black, so it won't move. So E for extrude. You're going to pick that circle, come to a home view, and start dragging through. Now, stop here. Now, instead of typing in a value here, we can put extent type. And we're going to pick to object. And you pick that face, just like that, and click OK. And we've got the hole all the way through. Now, you don't want it to come all the way through the front, so make sure you do what I've shown you there. So the base is now finished. Okay, so now we can design the acrylic stand. Now, that's quite easy, this one. So I'm going to click Save before I move on. You're going to activate the clear acrylic sheet and click the dot there. All right. So what we're going to do now is create a sketch. Make sure you've got clear acrylic is activated. Create a sketch. Pick this side face here. All right. R for rectangle. And I want you to zoom in. I just want you to pick this corner here. Right there, and drag up. Now, just let go. Don't click the mouse, okay? Type in 190, tab key, 3mm, tab key, enter. Now we pick E for extrude. We pick that rectangle that we've just drawn. We come back to a home view so you can see it. I'm going to drag it through here. I'm just going to type in -190. All right? Click OK. Now, A for appearance. This is going to be clear. Clear acrylic. If you don't have it downloaded or whatever, you can play around with glass if you want. I'm just going to put clear acrylic, click close. Right. I'm going to activate this at a parent level now. And I'm going to lock this in, right? Because now I don't want you to do this, but I'm just going to show you something. I can move that out. So Control Z or Command Z on a Mac. We're going to lock that acrylic in there by doing an assembly, and we're going to pick an as-built joint. Now, you just click on the acrylic, let go of the mouse, click the base. You'll notice two are selected, and click OK, and that's locked in there now, okay? Now, if I try and pull it, it doesn't move. Righto, so now we're going to activate switch plate and click that little dot, and we're going to start on the switch plate. Create a sketch. I want you to click on that void here. Immediately, what Fusion has done, it's copied all that geometry. So that's all we need to do. We go Finish Sketch. Now we press E for Extrude. And we pick that void and we pick that center cavity. We type in 3. And there's our switch plate. Now I'm going to put an appearance on that. And I'm going to put yellow plastic. And drag and drop it, close, and that way then you can see it. So now I need to put some more circles and rectangles on top of this, okay? To give you an idea what we need to do, this is our switch plate here, and I can turn the color on for you if you like, so you can see that. Okay, this is my green one from the previous model, this model here, okay? And you can see that I need to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 circles and a rectangle. So let's do that. And they've got specific measurements on it. All right. So here we go. Top view, rotate around. And I'm rotating it around so you can see it exactly like that. Zoom in. I pick that top face, click create a sketch. Notice that I'm still in my switch plate. It's still activated. So C for circle. Now just draw 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 circles. Now, we'll notice in the drawing here that this circle and that circle are both 4mm. So let's do that now. D for dimension. I'm going to make this one 4mm. Now, I don't have to dimension this one. I do a little trick up here. I press the escape key, click equals. I pick the circumference of that circle, pick the circumference of that circle, and notice there's a little equal constraints. They're both the same. Okay, let's dimension the big circle here. Now, this big circle here on my other drawing is 7 millimeters in diameter. All right. So here we go. D for dimension. So this one here, 7 and enter. Now, when you look at these 1, 2, 3 circles, notice they're all in line with one another. So let's do that now. We're going to put a constraint on. So you'll notice that I'm going to my horizontal constraint. I'm clicking that. I'm going to pick that circle. Okay, notice they're in line now. So I press the escape key. You can see them moving. Now I'm going to do that one more time. Press the escape key, pick that. I'm going to pick that circle and that circle. Press the escape key. Now watch here. So they're all locked in. They're all the same height now. So let's make them correct. They're supposed to be 17.5 down from that switch top of the switch plate. D for dimension, top edge, center of the circle, 17.5, enter. Okay, let's have a look at this now. From that circle to that circle is 70. So D for dimension, from that circle to that circle should be 70. When I look at this now, this first circle is 5 millimeters in from that edge. All right, so I'm just going to move this up so you guys can see it. D for dimension, from that edge to the center of the circle should be 5 millimeters. And I'm going to bring my measurements in line so you can see them. Let's just double check that. 5 millimeters, 70. All right. How far down? 17.5. So let's check that. 570, 17.5 down. Awesome. Now, our big circle here has to be 22 millimeters in. All right. D for dimension, here to here, 22 millimeters in. I like to make all my dimensions level so you can see them. So now you'll notice that that circle's black, that circle's black, that circle's black. However, this one's blue and we can still move it, right? So this one now has to be 2.5 in diameter. So D for dimension, 2.5. You'll notice here that this circle is in line with that circle. So we're going to do a horizontal vertical constraint again, this one here. I'm going to pick the center of that circle and the center of that circle, and they're locked in. I can press the escape key and show you that I can't move it left or right, but it will move up and down. So now press the escape key, D for dimension, 1, 2, and that's going to be, let's have a look here, 7.5. All right. 7.5, enter. Now, all the circles are done. We've only got the rectangular section here, and that's where our switch gets pushed into. It's 19 by 7, 23 in and 8 mil down. Okay, so we need to draw a rectangle. R for rectangle. Remember it was 19, tab 7, tab enter. Okay, so here's my rectangle, 19 mil long, 7 millimeters wide. We need to be 23 millimeters in from that edge, from that line to that corner. That is 23 millimeters. I'll just move that where you can see it. Zoom in a little bit. From that edge to that edge should be 8 millimeters, I think, from memory. That's correct. So there we have it, 8. So I'm going to leave this on the screen for a second so you can check your dimensions. Remember, just be systematical about it. Start from the left, work your way across to make sure that you've got what I've got here, what's showing. All right. Okay, we can finish sketch now. E for extrude, go to a home view, zoom in. I'm going to pick that circle, that, and that. You notice I've got 5 selected. I'm going to go -3, cut, come back to our home view, activate it at a parent level, and click save. All right, we've got one thing left to do, and that is your design on the front here. All right, now your design has to be, you've got to come up with it yourself. It can't be a picture off the internet. You've got to create your own sort of design label. This one here, I've just used my YouTube channel that I usually do. So to do that, when you put your design on, you'll have to activate it at a clear. Obviously, you'll have to bring in some sort of design to put it in here. Okay, and once again, you'd have to create a sketch and put that in there. I'll leave that up to you to do. And you don't know how to do it, you can ask your teacher. I can show you here what I did on mine. Clear acrylic display in here. If I click playback, you can see that I've just simply brought in a edit feature. I've brought in a DXF on that front face and extruded cut it in 0.5 millimeter. All right. That concludes today's CAD session on the acrylic light display. Don't forget to design your own logo to put it in there. I won't be showing you how to do that. You need to work that out yourself. And thanks for listening. Remember, at any time, stop the recording and rewind till you get it correct.